All right. Alrighty, so hey folks, how's everybody doing out there? I hope to see everyone is doing well. There's Mike out there from Niagara Falls, Ontario. Good to see you. Jaden, good to see you. Andrew, Hermitage, Tennessee. Good to see you guys. Glad you could make it and join us. I am getting ready to do this. Let's see. Oh, wow. Look at there. From Jamaica. What? You down there in Jamaica? Must be nice, dude. Hi from California. There we go. From North Carolina. Jolin in. Lots of community members, it looks like, too, watching. So that's a good thing. This is a fun topic, I think. I mean, already I've had fun, and I'm just sitting here for a couple of seconds before we got started here in the green room. So, yeah. So this one is an interesting one because a lot of people just like, okay, what is this? What are these things? All this AI. And I thought, what the heck? This is awesome. Bring in somebody that I know, somebody that I socialize with. So Ben Perlmutter is our guest today. There you go, Ben. How are you, sir?
I don't know. The guy from Jamaica was Jamaican me hungry or jealous.
No, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I'm doing awesome.
We had some pretty good food a couple months ago here when we saw each other in Texas, though, didn't we? That was a blast. Mm-hmm. That was a blast. That was a lot of fun. So, anyway. Well, I'm so glad that you said yes to coming on. Lots of people out there saying hi, Ben, giving you hellos, all that. Let's get right into it because I don't want to take too much of your time, but I also want to cover a lot of the cool stuff that we were just covering. So we're going to do some live tests showing you how to use this, how it works. Explain, first of all, I think the biggest thing is what is Gemini? You know what I'm saying? What is it? I know we're talking about it today, but what is it even? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quick. Let me just add this to the screen. This is what most people, when they go to Gemini, they look at. This is just pretty much like ChatGPT, a bunch of the other things like that, Perplexity, all the different ones that they have out there now. That's pretty much what it is. So that being said, fill us in. I mean, much more knowledgeable than I am on this.
So I know a little bit about it, but I've just scratched the surface of this. And a lot of this stuff that we've talked about today that we're going to talk about and show today is very, very basic, very top of the water type things. So Gemini is like a very advanced assistant mixed in with ChatGPT type
environment
language. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So there's different levels of Gemini. You have free versions, there's paid versions, pro versions, there's advanced versions. So there's some like you had which is the Flash version, which does still give you the ChatGPT, environment, like you said. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of the other ones, when you start to get into the Gemini Advanced, that's where you have Gemini Live, which is a assistant, but you can talk. You talk back and forth to the assistant, and it'll help you brainstorm ideas. It'll help you come up with ideas. You can change your mind. It can give you. You can have it help you coach you to do stuff. It's kind of amazing. At first, I wasn't really that sold on it until I tried it, and I was like,
"That's funny."
It was crazy because the next thing I knew, it was like 10 minutes later, and I'm still talking to this thing, and I'm like, it's just nuts. So it's kind of all those things put together, where the Gemini Advanced is an actual paid subscription. To be able to get the advanced. But the rest of it is, like you said, if you're familiar with ChatGPT, It's very similar. Some of the stuff can be integrated with, you know, a lot of the Google Workspace stuff, Google Drive,
Mhm.
Docs. It's in Gmail. It's in Google Messages. The Gemini stuff is just everywhere.
Well, and like you said, so nothing's free anymore. It seems like everything's going to paid, and this is not cheap. I mean,
No.
to tell the truth, it's just not cheap.
I think it's like $20 a month or something like that to be able to get the advanced versions. Yeah.
Pretty serious.
And I only got it because I purchased a phone and it came with it for free.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know,
be tough to adjust.
The whole thing is you got to try it. Once you try it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy.
Yeah. And Mark says, curious to learn more about there you go. And Notebook LM, getting to use to Gemini gives me much better answers than ChatGPT and Copilot. I use Perplexity and Gemini on a daily basis on my PC. And there you go. ChatGPT has gotten it wrong and Gemini gets it right. Well, there you go. So there's lots of, it's all of them are mixed. And I think there's a lot of, I mean, some of it, the data has to come from the same places.
Right. Right.
You know? Oh yeah, here we go. So he says, I get the Gemini Advanced for $20 a month. It includes 2 terabytes of Google One storage.
Yeah,
so
that's what I got with the perks or whatever I got with the device with the 2 terabytes and Gemini Advanced.
Gotcha. Well, let's do it. Let's show some of the stuff and some of the things you can do. And okay, so first off, just so people out there know, and we can all tell them straight up, because I asked you this right before we came in too. No videos, no pictures, none of that kind of stuff. It's more conversational. It's like what I call on Google Assistant, where we had the continued conversation. Is that kind of right? Right.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's like a supercharged version of that, like on a jet engine, supercharged like crazy. Very different compared to the other one. So
yes, only because you can interrupt, you can do all those kind of things, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it. So this is going to be fun. We're going to have a good time with it. Going to get to show you guys
live demos. Live demos go either they'll go really well, or they're not going to go very well. So I have it set up on my Pixel tablet here, so I'm gonna disappear.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go.
Look at that. There we go. All right. This is awesome. You gotta do the same one you did before when we did it. We're in the green room.
Okay. So let's and this is gonna be back and forth, so we're gonna be doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Who are you? I'm Gemini, a large language model, or an artificial intelligence, if you prefer. I was created by Google AI to help you in many different ways, from drafting messages and performing tasks to generating and analyzing images. You can also talk to me about something serious or just have a fun conversation. Whatever is on your mind, I'm here for you. What can I do for you?
Well, I want you to tell me about Michael Daniels' Tinkering with Tech YouTube channel.
Michael Daniels' Tinkering with Tech channel sounds like a fun one. He's got a ton of videos, over 1,700, so there's definitely something for everyone interested in tech. It looks like he covers everything from cool gadgets to software tips and tricks. Is there anything in particular you'd like to learn about?
Does he do any live streams?
Yeah, Michael Daniels does live streams on his channel. He calls them Tinkering with Tech live shows. It looks like he does them pretty regularly, so you might want to check out his channel and hit that subscribe button to get notified when he goes live.
That's pretty cool. Can you tell me a very nice poem about Michael Daniels?
Sure. Here's a short poem about Michael Daniels. With every click and every code, he seeks out tech's well-traveled road. His tinkering spirit, a wondrous art. In the digital world.
Okay, wait. Can you do that poem in iambic pentameter?
Iambic pentameter. Coming right up. Here's a slightly different version. With every click and every line of code, he seeks the path where tech's new wonders grow. A tinkering spirit, like a craftsman's art. In realms of circuits, he plays his part. His digital world, a vast and endless sea, where tech's potential waits for him to be.
There you go. So that's pretty cool, but you know what? I just happened to me lately. We just got a brand new puppy, and I really need to figure out a name for this puppy. So she's a golden retriever, and she's really active, and she likes jumping around, and she likes squeak toys. Can you help me with naming her?
Absolutely. Awesome. Golden retrievers are the best. Got any ideas in mind for names? Or do you want to start from scratch?
Let's start from scratch and go from there.
All right, so I can give you names that sound playful and energetic to match her personality. Or, if you'd like, I can also come up with names that have fun meanings behind them. Maybe something connected to the color gold, since she's a golden retriever. Let me know what you think.
Let's do something. Let's do some general ones. How about we just do general names and we'll go from there?
All right, sounds good. How about we start with some classic, timeless names? Maybe something like Bella, Buddy, or Max.
Oh, no, I do not like those at all. I'd like something that ends in like an E.
All right, let's try names that end in an E sound. Maybe something like Gracie, Sadie, or even a spunky name like Pippin.
Pippin doesn't end with an E.
You're absolutely right. Pippin would have an N sound at the end. How about something like Rosie, Millie, or maybe even Sophie?
Ooh, I like Sophie. That's a good idea.
Sophie's a great name for a golden retriever. It's playful and sweet, just like her.
You know what? I'm done with the puppy thing. I'm really stressed out because I have a Christmas party coming up and I need some recipes because I'm hosting 6 or 8 people and some of them are gluten-free and vegetarian. So can you help me with some recipes?
Sure thing. Let's start with the gluten-free and vegetarian side. Do you want something fancy or more on the casual side?
Oh, I'm not a super good cook, so something easy would be best.
Got it. So for the main dish, how about a classic like lasagna? It's always a crowd pleaser, and there are plenty of easy, no-fuss recipes out there that are perfect for a crowd. Plus, there are tons of ways to make it vegetarian and gluten-free friendly.
What about some desserts?
For dessert, maybe a classic.
Sorry, that's the dog with the squeak toy.
It's all good.
Oh, I see. Well, for something easy, I was thinking a sheet pan meal might be good. You could do chicken breast with roasted veggies and maybe some potatoes. It's simple to prep and cooks up fast.
No, I don't want chicken. They're vegetarian.
In that case, tofu is a great vegetarian protein option. It's really versatile and soaks up the flavors of whatever sauce you use. You could do a sheet pan meal with tofu, veggies, and maybe some crispy chickpeas for a crunch.
That's not a bad idea. I'll think of that in the future.
So, let's get back to the Christmas party. What about some appetizers? You could do a simple veggie tray with some yummy dip.
You know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's stressing me out. You know, I have a friend named Michael Daniels, and he's an umpire, and he's getting pretty good as an umpire, but he wants some really challenging scenarios or quizzes. Do you have some for him?
All right, let's test your friend Michael. How about a classic what-if scenario? Here's one. Imagine a runner is rounding third base, headed for home plate. The catcher has the ball, and the runner is clearly going to be out. But the catcher drops the ball on purpose, trying to trick the runner into going past home plate so he can tag them out. What should Michael do?
What should you do?
Oh, you can actually pause and wait, huh?
Yeah, you can wait, and then you can start up again.
Oh, that's great.
He's not sure. He thinks that the runner will be out.
He is.
All right, let's change the scenario a bit. Imagine the same play, but this time, the runner is clearly safe. The catcher knows it, and so does the umpire. But the catcher still tags the runner and appeals to the umpire. What's the call?
That's a tricky one. Do you have any scenarios between a player and a fan where the umpire is involved?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Here's one. A player hits a home run, right? They start jogging around the bases, but then they slow down a whole lot between second and third base. The crowd starts booing, and some fans start yelling stuff at the player. What should the umpire do?
I'm not sure.
All right, how about this?
Oh, I'm answering. I'm sorry.
It looks like it might be caught.
Okay, so that's just
This is great. Yeah, it's just
a generalized idea of kind of everything that it can do. You can just change ideas, change topics, go more in depth.
that's fantastic.
I didn't really get super into. I think there was another one that I was going to do, but that's just kind of
There's some thank yous out there.
a little bit about what it can do, but that's just, again, very, very basic. You can still
we just touched on it. We just touched on some of the things. It's really, I mean, it's really nice. One thing in the future that I think would help a lot, and I think it's getting there with some of these and stuff, is the ability, hey, let me send you a link, or let me send you this. I'll show you a couple videos, that kind of thing. You know, so what I'm saying, it's really super cool and some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that would be really nice. I think it can totally be a digital therapist for sure. 100%. You can talk to some very personal things about it and it will answer it back, but it will tell you that it is not a health professional. So you should seek professional, professional advice, whatever it is, if you ask it any health questions or anything.
Sure. So do you find yourself using it quite a bit then?
So I actually used it to name my dog because I just got my device and I'm like, we were thinking about names. And I don't know. It's not really. So I sat there talking through a little bit through the demo like I did, but I just got more and more in-depth talking with, asking it that I didn't like those to come up with more. And it just kept going. It didn't just stop and say, all right, well, you don't want to name your dog. It just never stopped. It just kept going. With giving suggestions, and we tinker it here and tinker it there, and finally we came to.
So how is Engelbert doing? No, I'm just kidding.
We decided on Ruby.
Oh, nice! How cool! I like it. That's awesome. That's my birthstone. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. See, it was meant to be. I was meant to be on this. We were meant to meet each other, Michael Daniel.
That's right. No, that's super cool. Now, do you ask it stuff? I mean, I know we were just having conversation and things like that. Do you ask it to answer questions for you as well? I mean, do you use it as the same thing that we would use one of these other Chat GPT or any of this kind of stuff where we type in and stuff like that? And that's the other thing I was going to ask you. It's a two-part question. Can you type instead of talk? But anyway, go ahead.
So yes, It is. You can ask it similar questions like you can the assistant. Thank you. And so there's still some integration with different services like Google Home and things like that sometimes it doesn't quite work exactly. Okay. But you can ask, you can type. It's got the option where you don't have to speak to it. I think with advanced, you do have to speak with it. Yeah, you do have to speak with it with the advanced. Okay. But otherwise, just like ChatGPT, you can type in, any questions that you have.
If you have a math question, you want to ask it real quick, and you need to, just multiply it out or whatever, and this kind of stuff. It'll do all that kind of stuff for you.
Yeah, because it'll give you when you set up and install Gemini on your device, you can choose which assistant you want to use, because the Google Assistant and Gemini are not the same thing. Right. You can use it but once you switch over to Gemini, then the same assistant things did not work at the start. It was very isolated. And so it was like, I caught myself jumping back and forth. Like I want to try it, then I can't do simple, Google Assistant things. But now that it's mostly been integrated over, it's still, it's like 95, 98% better than it was at the beginning.
That's cool. So Mike says, does it provide a transcript of your records?
Yeah. So if you can, here, we'll go back down here and it goes over everything we just talked about.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
And then you can give it thumbs up, thumbs down. If you don't like it, you can copy it. You can share it. If you like the answer, if you didn't like the answer.
That's so cool.
So yeah, it's got all that info there, which is pretty cool.
So when you have this, do you have this on every one of your devices then? I mean, computer, tablets, iPads, iPhones, regular phones, all that kind of stuff. Is all of this on everything then once you pay for this service? So
the service does connect through your Google account. So anywhere you sign into your Google account, you can go to Gemini.google.com, I think it is. On a desktop, or you can do it on a tablet, or you can do it on a phone. Anywhere you sign in, you can use, and it uses, it's like if you have Gemini Advanced will be there throughout your devices, not just on like the one that you purchased or whatever. It's across all of them.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Mark says, curious about Gemini's memory. Can I ask it to refer to a conversation from a week ago, for example?
That's a great question. there is, if you look up here, let me go back. There is a kind of like a history a little bit back here, what I'll talk about this stuff. It doesn't look like it goes back that far, like it does the recent chat.
Right.
But these are also some of the things you can do: brainstormer, create guide, coding, writing editor, all that good stuff. So it's not there, but if you go into your, because it's got, let me see where it is. Here it is. If you just click your avatar and then it brings up these options, then you can go up to like your app activity and it'll bring up all the stuff that you asked.
Okay. So nothing that you could ask Gemini to, hey, we were talking about this before and that kind of thing. So it won't really bring it up like that.
Let's try a live thing to see if, because I honestly don't know. Let's try it.
Right, let's do it. All right. This is awesome.
Do you remember what I talked to you about a week ago?
Unfortunately, I can't remember what you talked to me about a week ago. I don't have that kind of long-term memory yet.
There you go.
Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Okay, good. Good to know. Good to know. Good questions, though.
Those are great questions.
Jim says, I usually am typing. Gemini Advanced helps me come up with the video titles and created by images I use in articles. There you go. I use the tool to create outlines of my presentation at Computer Club. It help gives me. There you go. Roxanne asks, if you ask medical questions, will it give you links to look at? Nope, no links or no videos, no nothing right now.
Not right. Advanced. If you type in, or I'm sorry, not live. So yes, it's not the Gemini live, it won't do that. But if you just use the regular Gemini and you type in, then it will give you your links and all that information. So it will do that, just not the conversationally with the advanced, because there has been times where it would talk through something like, oh, can I see a video of that? And it's like, I can't do that yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, makes sense.
All right, fine. I'll just wait, I guess. I'm here.
Yeah, I love it though. That's really super cool. That's kind of neat. What I like is that it promotes and provokes ideas that maybe you weren't thinking of, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. I know I can't get that information or I can't do that right now, but it just asked me and told me about this. Let me go research that now as possibly whatever it may be, a topic or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it'll kind of get, what I've noticed is with an answer, it may not get all of it, but then it'll give you a little piece where you're like, ooh, I like that. And then that you kind of run with that for a little bit. And then it gives you a little bit something else and you run with that. Or like my daughter used it because she was having a birthday party. She's 11. Oh my gosh, she's already 11. I can't believe it. And so,
too quick.
So she was trying to figure out what kind of theme. And so I just handed it to her and she just ended up talking back and forth and figured out she wanted a spa theme. And that's what they came up with. So, and it was great. It was perfect. She'll just ask me, hey, I want to talk to Jim and I want to come up with some ideas. So I think it's great if you have this generation looking at that and going, hey, that's a great option to use.
They're very inquisitive anyway, so it's excellent for that to promote that as well. So,
I think part of it too is like it seems like they're a lot more open to a lot of those suggestions, maybe, or a lot more open to AI thinking about it. Instead, we're like, no, we have our thoughts, we have our ideas, and we're stuck with what we need to. Instead of like, let's throw it out there, let's see what sticks, and let's see what comes back, and kind of narrowing everything down this way. Yeah, I can't. Sorry, Dave.
So what about changing voices? Can you do that kind of thing?
You can. Yep, you can.
Can you also change the name instead of asking Gemini? Can you ask your friend?
No. But you can do, if you go through your settings, you can change Gemini's voice.
I'm ready to be your voice. Nice. You like what you hear? Choose me to start talking.
Feel free to keep it going.
We got a super chat. Look at there. Thank you very much. This is
Always
excellent. Thank you, Jalin. Thank you.
Here whenever you're ready to talk.
If you're curious about the other voices, swipe to explore or pick me to start talking.
It's good to meet you. Give me a chance or check out the other options.
That's awesome.
So it's
Maybe
got,
I'm your style. Pick me and I can be the voice you hear.
I'd be honored to be the voice you choose for Gemini. But let's face it, the other voices are great too.
Choosing a voice is tricky, but hopefully it's also fun. Here's hoping I'm your voice of choice. Maybe I'm the voice that's right for you, but there are quite a few to choose from.
so there's,
I'm another voice in the mix. I'll be here when
you get your British.
Okay.
So lots of different options. These are kind of the settings as you're going through. So interrupting live responses, languages, some quick phrases you can use, with specific tasks. You can have it read your screen content.
Oh, so can you pick more than one language, like Spanish and English? If I'm trying to learn Spanish, can I pick more than one language? Or is it just either or?
I think it's only with supported ones, but it looks like with Gemini, it's assistant use a language that works with Gemini only. I don't know. That's a great question. That would be cool to be able to switch around.
Continued conversation with that
Yeah.
and say, hey, I'm trying to say this and da 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 da. Would you?
You're just switching back between English and Spanish.
Yeah, I do that. I try and do that now with the with my G device now. So
does it keep up?
It does not. It does not.
It does not.
Yeah. No, it
Great
does.
thought.
It's okay. I mean, it does some, but then it'll just be at a loss, and then it's saying something like, "Okay, stop. What are you doing?"
It gets to that point where you're like, "Please, just please, you're making it worse."
But it's nice to be able to hear that language, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you're learning a language, and I know this because I'm fascinated with languages anyway, hearing that other language helps you in the sounds and the pronunciation of different words and the enunciating. That's a lot of, in a lot of languages, where you enunciate and stuff like that. So I'm real curious if they adapt that or get that in there, because that would be really super cool.
I know.
Cool. I mean, I know using that for help for me with, I tutor students for free in Spanish. It's just something I do as a volunteer, and it just, it helps them get better and that kind of stuff. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up because we've been at 30 minutes. I want to save time, a little bit of time anyway, for you to come in with members only. Anybody that is a member gets to come in and talk to Ben. You can sign up today if you want to say, hey, I want to come be a member just so I can come backstage and talk to Ben and talk more about this. And how you tell whether you're a member or not, if you look over here underneath Ben there's a little circle. Yeah, there's a little circle right there next to his name. That lets you know that he is a member. That's Mike, who is a member. And Jalin, thank you so much. Any super chat this month on this show or the game show, all super chats are going directly into prizes given at the end of January, actually. So, and Andrew says, great show. Thanks, guys. Of course, you bet. Absolutely. And she says, on the web, I'm using Gemini Advanced. I just opened Gemini on my Pixel. It shows Gemini Advanced 1.5 Pro. Who knew? There you go. How about that? Great way to support the channel. There you go, Mike. Very nice of you. And there's a join button right down here on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, which we can't watch on Facebook right now because Facebook's down. I know. So right down here is a join button. Click the join button, become a member. We would love to have you, and you're welcome. I'm going to take us on out with an outro. Stick around here, Ben, or I'll send it to you in our chat. I'll send you the link over to the Zoom where we go in and talk to the other members and stuff. Thank you so much for coming on. And as a special bonus, next week, Ben's back on. But I'm not going to tell you the topic.
It's a secret.
Let that be a secret and let that be a surprise. That's right. You'll have to ask Gemini if they can come up with what you think that might be.
Ooh, that's a good question.
All right, I'm going to take us on out. Thank you very much for coming this week. I appreciate it a lot. All right, take us on out. We'll see you guys over in the backstage pass. And hang on just a second. We'll do the outro.
Thanks, sir.
All righty. I put it over in our chat, so you should have the link to be able to get over there.
Yep, I think it's joining.
Okay. Perfect.
Wait, it doesn't.
Just want to make sure you get over there. You need the TINK.
That's what I was looking at.
Yep. There we go. Looks like you're coming in.
All
All right. See you. We can get out of this one. See you.